I have a guest for this hour. Let me bring him in quickly. Criminal defense attorney and a former prosecutor, David Bruno. David, this particular expert, I'll tell you, in a case that's all about he said, she said, this expert, I think, is going a long way towards affecting the credibility of Amber Heard.
I was thinking, before I got on here, I was like, me and Michael are going to talk about credibility, corroborating, lack of corroborating, right? Because last time we spoke, we were talking about this. When it's a he said, she said, and credibility is at issue, like this case, the other evidence, either corroborating, disproving, supporting, is critical to the fact finder in determining who's telling the truth. And this expert here is showing that there's different pictures and images, and we're going to get into some metadata, which is very interesting on the technology standpoint, as to who's telling the truth and what pictures are authentic and real.
Yeah, this is going to get hairy, no doubt, for Amber Heard, at least at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still waiting for cross-examination. My understanding is that sidebar is over. Let's get back into the courtroom. All right, let me bring back in my guest, David Bruno. Hopefully we got those audio issues fixed up. Former criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, and a criminal defense attorney. Great. David, this witness, and what I was asking you before, was this is a witness that came forward yesterday, it sounds like, contacted Depp's team. We had one earlier who had done the same thing, seeming like they want to get into the case. How does that affect the credibility of those type of witnesses?
Yeah, always, right? Because as cross-examination goes on, they're looking for bias. They're looking at conflict. They're trying to attack credibility, and credibility is at issue here. When the witnesses come forward late, when the witnesses have interest in the case, it's an attack. But here, look, Amber Heard put it at issue, and she denied, she minimized it. And this is an eyewitness that does have relevant evidence. And she's here to say that Amber Heard did more than what she has said before this jury. And she's there to color. Now, is this absolutely critical? No, it's not. It's not really material. It's not even an issue involving Johnny Depp. But the credibility, and we keep on hammering that home, and it goes to who's telling the truth here. Truth is at the critical issue here, because truth is a defense. Truth is a defense to defamation. And also, the truth is important in assessing credibility. And witnesses like this, although they come with some baggage and attack, do come forward to color Amber Heard as not telling the truth. And ultimately, that's the decision that this jury has to make. So I think that the cross-examination is ripe, it's proper, it's the way to cross. But in the end, this witness was there, and she saw things that Ms. Heard did not testify to. So I think it's a good move by the Depp team.
Yeah, at the end of the day, David, what I'm hearing her testify to, and again, even though she was a late contact to the Depp team, she doesn't seem to have a dog in the fight. She described to me what sounded like an assault. Now, maybe an arrest might have been going far. I don't know what happened, why she ended up getting arrested. It doesn't seem like that would lead to an arrest. Maybe something else went on. But at the end of the day, what she was recounting was clearly an assault on some level.
Yeah, don't forget, an arrest was made. So a police officer made an arrest, found probable cause, charged this individual. And Ms. Heard wants to come forward and say that that was nothing. Jury, don't worry about that. That's not the general way that she behaves. So I think, look, it's late, especially last night. That was a little bit surprising to me, that a witness contacts defense counsel last night. I mean, that's not timely at all. But at the same time, it shows the propensity to commit violence on the part of Amber Heard. And that's what Johnny Depp is saying. That's what we heard in the testimony. And we've seen a couple witnesses now testify that that is the disposition of Ms. Heard. And just put this particular witness in that column to support that argument that Johnny Depp's team will be making in closing.
There are two more things about her testimony that jump out to me that fit right into that narrative that you're mentioning, David. Number one, she says that she smelled alcohol on Amber's breath, so you have that. All right, it looks like they're going back. We're going to get back to it in just a minute. Let's get back to the court.
To have
Let me bring back in David Bruno. And David, where I was going was basically there were two extra things that jumped out to me about Beverly Leonard's testimony. One, Amber had alcohol on her breath. Number two, her partner in that situation, albeit a woman, was bigger than her, and she was sort of backing off. She seemed meek, which to me mirrors the situations that we've seen with Johnny Depp. So that really jumped out at me as well.
Sure, those are two big themes in the case, the alcohol and drug abuse by both Johnny and Amber. But to your point, it's showing this aggressive disposition of Amber Heard that needs to be believed to really support the Johnny Depp complaint. Because in the end, he is saying that what she said in the op-ed is false, is not true. And that is what this case is about. Was that truth? Was that embedded in fact? Or was that a lie? That, number one, was a lie. And number two, affected Johnny Depp's ability to earn. And there's the second question that needs to be answered in the event that they do find defamation, is to what are the damages here? And I think Johnny Depp has done a tremendous job showing those damages. And on the flip side, Amber Heard has not, because she's got the complaint too. She's got the complaint for defamation as well. And she has the burden to show her damages as well. But look, she's an Aquaman, right? And Aquaman should have been basically the way that she got up to the top. And it was about a year and a half after until her alleged defamation statements by Johnny Depp, right? So when we talk about damages, and that's going to be part two for both complaints, if there is defamation found, if there's liability found, then the jury's going to have to go to the damage question. And I think that Johnny Depp has done a better job on the liability question, and I think he's done a better job on the damages question as well. And that's what we're going to start hearing as we end this case with the closing arguments of counsel. Those are the two questions that the jury has to really deal with.
I agree with you 100% on your assessment. Here's my question for you, though. The malice issue. There's some question. Now, they've done a really good job, this is Depp's team, of showing the aggressiveness on Amber's part, which may bring into question some of her claims. But I think it's within the purview of this jury to believe that she believed she was a victim of violence. There's enough there that if they wanted to say, hey, she believed she was a victim of violence, so when you're looking for malice in her comments in that op-ed, if you're looking for complete and utter disregard or reckless disregard of the truth in her op-ed, they could have trouble finding that. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree, but I was skeptical of Johnny Depp's case in the very beginning of this. In the beginning, when he first testified, I wasn't on his side on the question of defamation. But I'll tell you what, the more and more we learned about Amber Heard and the recordings that we heard and some of the statements that she has said, and look, she looked to be the aggressor on a number of different occasions. For her to come out with that op-ed, I don't see any other reason, honestly, for a reckless disregard of the truth. That's my thoughts on it. It's a high bar to get to, no doubt. It's a special additional element for a celebrity or a newsworthy individual, and that is what we have here. But look, they did such a great job with the recordings, with the other witnesses corroborating Johnny Depp's testimony, with the late witnesses, with the experts that brought forth. How about the expert today on the digital evidence that basically said that we don't even know that the images that have been provided by Amber Heard are even authentic. They've been changed so many different times. We don't have the phone that was actually used. I mean, how about that for a takeaway, Michael? For all of our viewers out there, if you're ever going to use digital evidence in the court of law, maintain the original device, because that is the only way to authenticate a picture or a video.
You know, you hit the nail on the head, I think, in two ways. Number one, why would Johnny Depp bring this case? Exactly the reason you mentioned. We're hearing all this stuff about Amber Heard. I think that helps rehabilitate him in the public eye, which I think was the purpose of this case. But why else are we hearing all this about Amber Heard? Because I think it goes to that question as to why, whether they can find that malice. If you get this jury to believe that she was that aggressive and was often the aggressor, then I think, like you think, they might see that op-ed as being brought for only one reason, and that was with malice, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And look at this soundbite of testimony that you just played of Johnny Depp. And essentially what he said was he got it off his back. What he did, and he said win or lose, essentially, as if he's already won. Even if he doesn't win on liability, even if he doesn't win on the damages, he comes out with a different public perception about him, excuse me. And I think that is why he brought this case. Win or lose, I think Johnny Depp did a great job rehabilitating his public image.
Absolutely. And then he retook the stand today in his rebuttal case. And I thought, again, I want to get your thoughts, but my feeling was that once again, I mean, he played the role of Johnny Depp very, very well. I thought he handled himself extremely well. I thought Cross didn't really nick him up too much. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because it's been a while since we've heard from him. He was one of the initial witnesses, and he's got a good cadence. He's a likable person. And you could see the fanfare in the courtroom, outside the courtroom. Look, there's witnesses that are coming forward, just contacting defense counsel yesterday. He's a likable person, a likable character. And in the end, the jury has to make a determination of credibility. And I would imagine that they are going to like him too. And it may be a major part in some of the factor that they come to in their determination.
Yeah, I mean, credibility often means likability in a lot of these cases, and you're exactly right. He's definitely the more likable character. Finally and quickly, do you expect Amber Heard to take the stand again in her rebuttal case, or should she?
Yeah, she should. She should. I think there's more questions to answer for her based on everything that's happened since her testimony as well. I'd anticipate it as well.
Yeah, to me, that's the only way to go in this case, is for her to take the stand again, tell whatever story she needs to tell to knock down some of what we heard on rebuttal and leave that jury and let them decide at the end of the day. All right, well, David Bruno, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Appreciate you having you on the show. As always, love your insights. We'll have you on again soon. You have a great night. We're going to take a break right now.